everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am bringing you another Yarnie update. This will be Yarnie update number 26, mostly covering the things that I stitched on during the month of August. So August was a pretty busy month for me. I ended up participating in a couple readathons, and I also was finishing up my participation in Lola Did It's Hippo for the Holidays cow, which I was participating in like the summer cow. She does one every quarter. I had quite a bit of stress trying to finish up the things for that cow, but I did end up completing everything that I needed to enter for prizes for that, so that was great. And then in August I was also on vacation for the beginning part of the month. I'm just taking some days off from work because I have to use them, and I ended up taking it during the Olympics, so I was able to stitch quite a bit during the Olympics, and I enjoyed watching the Olympics as well. But yeah, I do have an August vlog. There are two parts to that August vlog up on my booktube channel. I'll link both of those videos down in the description box below in case you're interested. A link to my booktube channel is also linked down in the description box below in case you're interested in knowing what I read during the month and hearing my thoughts on those things as the months go. So yeah, I did do a monthly vlog, and that just basically is me checking in on things that I was reading, things that I've been doing, and things like that. So if you're interested, definitely check out those videos down in the description box below. I've kind of started doing monthly vlogs on my booktube channel just because sometimes it's difficult for me to do like a full-on monthly wrap-up, and so I've been kind of experimenting with doing this monthly vlog, but I still haven't perfected what I wanted to do with it yet. But in any case, it's a way for me to check in week to week, let you know what I'm reading, what I'm thinking about the things that I am reading, and then plans for like readathons. Sometimes we go to my monthly manga club meetings, so there's some manga shelf browsing, and I had some haul, book haul, and a candle haul in August. So yeah, that's been pretty fun. Been pretty busy with my reading, like I said, and that's pretty much it for chit chat. Today I have a little bit of works in progress to share with you. I have some finished objects, and I do have some stash acquisition. So let's get into what I am currently stitching on, which are my works in progress. My first work in progress is an old one. I've been really feeling the want to get back into garment knitting. With all of the sock knitting that I've been doing this year, I'm kind of burnt out on socks. So I decided to pull out my winter web sweater. So this is living in my Jack Skellington and Sally towel bag. So this is just a towel that we picked up from Disneyland, and my mom turned it into a project bag for me. So like I said, this is my winter wear sweater, which the pattern is Arachne by Andy Satterland. So this is what I have so far. When I showed this to you last, the stitch marker that was there is no longer there because I had to rip back about 3 inches. So I don't know when I talked to you about the sweater last. I did start it last October, or September, October? I think it was October. So it's been a while since this one's been in hibernation. But I had such trouble swatching for this that I ended up going with a needle size that I felt like I liked the feel of the fabric for. As with things that, you know, you leave in hibernation, when I picked this back up to work on, I had done, like I said, 3 inches, and I noticed that my gauge had changed. My stitches were much tighter, and therefore my sweater was getting smaller, which is not what I wanted. So I ended up ripping back to the sleeve separation. And so since I did that, I've done about an inch or so since. So my gauge is much better. Now I'm also adding in stitches to give it more of an A-line shape, which will also give me a little bit more room in the body. And so that's where I am with this right now. This I am doing in Knit Picks Galileo yarn, which is a sport weight wool and bamboo blend. So this is what it looks like. The main color that I am using is called Lunar, so that is the blue. And then for the web, I did it in, this color is pearl, I believe. Yes, this is pearl. So I actually have quite a bit of pearl left, but you can see that I did have to wind up what I had pulled out. So I'm working away on this little football of yarn right now, and I'm much happier with my gauge, like I said. But that was my first work in progress. That was the thing that I pulled out immediately when I had finished all of the projects that I had finished for the hippo, for the holidays cow, for Lola Did It. So I do have one more work in progress to share with you. Technically there's two, but I can't really show you one of them just because it's a test knit, and I don't yet have permission to share that publicly. So let me get out my other item for you, and I'll be right back to share that with you. So my next work in progress is living in my Muppets bag from Otterly Adorable Knits. And in here is my Yeti Goes to Jurassic Park V-back tee. So the V-back tee is from Jamie Hoffman. And I was actually trying to get this done for the hippo for the holidays cow. So I have actually done quite a bit, but it became pretty obvious that I wouldn't be able to finish this in time for the cow. So I ended up putting this away. Let me see if I can find where I was the last time I talked to you. So the last time I showed you, I was here where the pumpkin is. So I did about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, when it became pretty obvious that this would not get finished in time. So I decided to go ahead and put it away, even though I'm really enjoying working on this project. I am doing helical knitting for the body because this is hand dyed yarn. The colorway is Yeti Goes to Jurassic Park in Lola Did It's L'Original Base, which is a wool and nylon blend. And in the green section, this is Lola Did It's Shamrock colorway. And I'm really enjoying this. So I haven't really worked on this very much since I talked to you last, because like I said, it became pretty obvious that I wasn't going to be able to finish this by time it needed to be done to be entered into the knit along. But I do want to get back to this. My test knit is actually taking up a lot of my attention right now, but I do want to get back to this, and I obviously want to get my Arachne finished in time to wear it this year. So those are my works in progress, and now let me put this away and let's get into No Stitches Required, which is my finished objects section. So No Stitches Required is 3 pairs of socks, which is why this episode is entitled Socks, Socks, Socks. You can probably tell why I am socked out, but the first pair of socks that I finished in August was my Weatherby Socks. So this is the Weatherby Sock by Ramona Lee, and this is a free pattern on Ravelry. I actually test knit one sock for her back in March, I think it was March, and I cast on the second sock. I did about 3 rows of ribbing, and that was it. So when Nitty Natty was doing her second sock week, which is the follow-up to her Shark Week sock week, I decided to go ahead and finish the second sock for this pair. So this was my first pair of finished socks. You can see it is a cabled pattern with some seed stitch in the panel. The other side is the same. And then I did I believe this is a French heel turn, which was what was in the pattern, because that is what I was test knitting for, so I did it to pattern. And then the toe is kind of different because you are decreasing in pattern, and so the toe is rather pointy. It's much more pointy than I like. I think if I did this pattern again, I would try to find a way to make more of a rounded toe, but you can see here how much pointier this section is from what I normally do, but it still does fit my foot really well. This is the Onion Nettle sock yarn, and I cannot remember what the colorway was, but if you go down to the description box below, you will be linked to my blog post. I duplicate everything that I input into Ravelry onto my blog in case people have issues with Ravelry and their new revamp, or if they're just not using Ravelry anymore. There is a copy typed out onto my blog so you can see the information on the yarn I use. But both of these colors are the Onion Nettle sock yarn, and I really like it. So this is that dark blue color I used for the heel. I tend to like a more square heel turn, so that's another thing that I would do differently when I do another pair of this. But it was a very interesting experience. I don't do cables often, and so this working a cable needle with such tiny stitches was a little bit of a challenge, but I really enjoyed the experience. And like I said, this one sock only took me 1 week, even with all of the cables and the seed stitch and all of that. So I really enjoyed doing this. Like I said, it is a free pattern, so definitely check it out from Ramona Lee. She does have a podcast. I can't remember what the podcast is called, but I will link it down in the description box below in case you're interested. So the next pair of socks that I finished during the month was my Reindeer hooves. This is a pattern from Christy Houghton, who is the dyer behind Yarn Cafe Creations. This is again a free pattern. You can see there are cross stitches to make the reindeer hooves. The yarn I used for this was Lola Did It's Yeti Goes to the North Pole in her original base, I believe, and Narnia, also from Lola Did It, which I believe it's also in her original base, but don't quote me on that. Again, everything is down in the description box below. So I did a square heel turn and my lightning toe, which is just a rounded toe. This sock design, because of all of the cross stitches, I did end up going to a 2.5 millimeter needle instead of my normal 2.25. You can kind of see in the top rows that it's very, very tight. This one is much less tight than this one, but that is because I really had to work on being relaxed and giving a lot more give to the stitches that I was creating when I was doing the plain rows in between, because the reindeer hooves pattern is done in 4 different rows. So you have your 2 rows with the cross stitches and then 2 rows of plain stockinette stitch in between, and I was tending to not knit loosely enough in the 2 stockinette rows, and so when it came time to do the crosses, it was very, very difficult. I ended up hurting myself a couple times, which is not good for you, so don't do that. But once I figured out exactly what I needed to do, it's a very easy stitch pattern to remember, and I was just off to the races on that. So I thought Yeti Goes to the North Pole was a good choice because it is reindeer hooves, and yeah, so I am really happy with these. One more pair of Christmas socks. These were my July pair of Christmas socks. I've been trying to do 1 pair of Christmas socks every month for the year, but I have now fallen behind. I will let you know that I have not done a Christmas pair of socks for August, and I have not cast one on either. Like I said before, I have been a bit socked out, and I'm not really inspired to do Christmas socks at the moment. I do think that I will probably cast on a pair this month, but we will see about that. I am very much enjoying my garment knitting at the moment. But yeah, this is my July pair of Christmas socks, and I did enter those for the Lola Did It Hippo for the Holidays cowl, because you can do hippos and yetis. So she has hippos for the holidays, which are more of the gray base, which I will show you in a little bit, and then you have the yeti, which is that brownish color. So my last pair of socks that I had done is my Helping Hippos for Clementine. This is the Clementine pattern from Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears podcast, and the yarns that I used for this was, again, Lola Did It in her Helping Hippos colorway, which is her fundraising colorway. So anytime there is a need to fundraise, so I believe when I picked this one up, it was in 2018. I believe it was for hurricane relief. She had donated funds for hurricane relief, and so this was the colorway that came out. And so because I was entering this for Hippo for the Holidays cowl, it has to be all Lola Did It yarn. So Helping Hippos, and then for the heels and toes I did Material Girl, which is this hot pink color, and then Lucky, which is this green color. So you can see that, oh, this is terrible. Here we go. You can see that the heels and toes are opposite colors because that is how they are in Kay's Clementine pattern. And I really enjoyed this pattern. Again, it was very easy to remember pattern. This is a paid for pattern, and I did end up stitching a lot of this while I was watching the Olympics, and just I had no idea that this colorway was a rainbow inside. When it was in the hank, I saw a lot of the pinks and oranges and a little bit of yellow, but I didn't see any of the turquoisey color or the purple. So I really enjoyed knitting these up. It was so fun to see the rainbow come out in these socks. And yeah, so these are my Helping Hippos for Clementine socks. And that was my last entry for the Lola Did It Hippo for the Holidays cowl. So I ended up doing 4 pairs of socks. And I actually had cast on this pair once I realized that I wouldn't be able to finish my Yeti Goes to Jurassic Park V-back tee in time. So I am very happy to have this pair of socks. It's so fun. It's so fun. I really, really enjoyed knitting these up. And because these were more of a summer colorway, or I would probably wear them spring and summer, and where I am probably even in autumn, just because it's still in the mid to high 90s here with no relief in sight. And so I did make these a little bit shorter than I make my Christmas socks. So let me just show you these are my Yeti Goes to the North Pole socks. For all of my Christmas socks have 48 row legs with a 15 row ribbing, just because I think it's much better to have longer socks during the winter time. And so I make my socks a little bit shorter during the rest of the year, for use in the rest of the year, I should say. So I do, again, 15 rows of ribbing and then about 36 rows in the leg, or around there, depending on the stitch repeat, the repeat for the patterns. And so yeah, I'm very happy with these. And so that is all of my finished items that I've done in the month of August. Now all that's left to share is what I've acquired. So let me put those away and I'll grab my new acquisitions and I'll be right back. Okay, so I do have a little bit of yarn to share with you that I picked up in the month of August, and I do have a project bag. So you know that I am a big fan of Otterly Adorable Knits' project bags. I even showed you one today. So when I saw this particular one, I had to have it. And you'll know why when you see it. So this is the bag that I picked up from Otterly Adorable Knits. It is the Dinosaur Constellations. And I really, really wanted a dinosaur bag to put my Yeti Goes to Jurassic Park project in. And so when I saw this on her shop, I immediately grabbed it up. You can see all of the dinosaur constellations. I'm very happy with this one. I wish this bottom part was more of a blue or the turquoisey color that you see, but it is purple. On the screen, it's showing up a lot bluer than it is in real life, but it is a royal purple. And so yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of purple, but I loved this bag, and so I had to pick it up. Plus the zipper is turquoise. So I am very, very pleased with this. This is her extra large size. I usually pick up large or extra large from her just because I'm not bothered so much using a bigger project bag for a smaller project. And I just find that I tend to use more of the large and extra large sizes because I tend to be working on larger projects. So I really, really loved this one. And then for the yarn that I have purchased, I have my Kindred Spirits yarn club for the month of August. Was it August? Yeah. The Kindred Spirits yarn club is a every other month yarn club, and all of the colorways are inspired by Anne of Green Gables. So in August, the colorway was named Matthew, and it's a tonal blue-gray with like turquoise specks or teal, turquoisey teal specks. It's kind of hard to see. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but I really, really like this. I've been very happy with the yarn that I've been receiving for this club, and since it's every other month, I don't feel like, you know, it's hard on my budget at all. And so yeah, I actually am trying to find a way to put some of the previous month's colorways into a fade. Not this one, but I have a few others. Just because I'd like to keep, some of them together to work on a project so that all of the yarn in that project is an Anne of Green Gables inspired colorway. And so this is what I got for the month of August for that club. And then Lola Did It had a special secret Shark Week colorway, and so I immediately had to grab that up. When it came in the mail, I was super happy, and this is what it looked like. So this one is called Terror in the Deep, and it's got a lot of those watery colors with the gray of the shark and red speckles for blood. And I ended up picking up this one in her plush sock base. Plush sock and L'Original are the two that I enjoy the most, I would say, from Lola Did It. So because her colorways are seasonal or they're special edition, I will tend to get plush if I can, but if I can't, L'Original. And I really love that one. And then I couldn't get that one to ship alone because I always order more than one when I'm ordering from Lola Did It. So I got Kryptonite. This is also in her plush sock base. And it's been one that I've had my eye on for a while. It's got grays and turquoises and even some like seafoam green colors in it, and I really enjoy that one as well. And so the last yarn that I got in was the Hawaii Bazaar Anime Club yarn. So she has a colorway that's inspired by an anime in her shop every month, and I always get the sock set if I order. The last couple months have been animes that I don't watch, so I haven't purchased those colorways, but August's anime was Full Metal Alchemist, and so I had to get that one because it is a series that I have watched and really enjoyed. And so this is what it looks like. Like I said, I always get the sock set because I do share skeins with my daughter, and so there's enough yarn for both of us to have a pair of socks in the colorway. Not that my daughter knits, but I shared the skein for her, and then I end up having to knit her a pair of socks as well. But like I said, this is Full Metal Alchemist, so true to the anime, there are a lot of reds and blacks and grays, and then you've got the yellow, which is very reminiscent of Edward Elric's hair. And so I am very pleased with this one. Her September colorway was again another anime that I don't watch, so I didn't order that one, but I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to have available for October. It is a yarn club that I do keep my eye on regularly, and so yeah, I'm very happy with this addition to my anime inspired collection of yarns. And I do have one more Yarnie purchase to share with you, but that's related to the test knit that I was talking about. So let me grab that and I will be right back. So that test knit I was talking to you about is currently living in my Krampus bag from Leading Men Fiber Arts. Krampus is one of my favorite colorways from them, and so I have to be very careful with this because, like I said, I don't know that I have permission to share this with you yet because the pattern's supposedly not coming out till February or maybe March, but we have until February to test knit this design for her. But it is a color work sweater. It is for Megan over at Bad Wolf Girl Studios, and if you know any of Megan's work, she does a lot of color work yoke sweaters, and this is no exception, but I will show you what I currently have inside out. That way you can't really like see what the designs are, but this is what I currently have on that. I have already split for the sleeves, but they're kind of like on the other side, so I have split for the sleeves. I'm working on the very last color work panel, and so that's really exciting. But I did end up having to purchase yarn for this project. So because I had to order some for this project, I also had to order a few extras. And so I will show you what I have purchased for this project, and then I will share with you what I have as far as extras go. But for the main body of this sweater, I decided to go with wool of the Andes. So this is 100% wool yarn in the sport weight because it is a sport DK pattern, and so I decided to go with Midnight Heather for the main color of the sweater. And then I have Wonderland Heather, which is the color that I'm actually putting in right now. I have Oyster Heather. I have Fairy Tale. And then for one of the colors, I couldn't find a color that I really wanted for that particular color work design. So I ended up going with Palette. Knit Picks Palette, which is a fingering weight 100% wool yarn, and holding this double for that section. This is Knit Picks Palette in Caribbean. And so I am using 2 strands of that to do the color work. I've actually already finished that section, which is why it's a little bit flat and floppy. But that is what I picked up for that sweater. And then they had just restocked their Felichi. And so I picked up 4 skeins of the Under the Sea colorway. And I picked up 4 skeins, 2 for me and then 2 for my daughter. And then I also picked up the Psychedelic Sunset colorway. And so this one has a bigger stripe of blue in it with the rainbow. And I just thought that was super cool. And so that is everything that I have purchased, stitched on, and finished in the month of August. So yeah, I've been rather busy stitching away, trying to get everything completed, like I said, for the Hippo for the Holidays cowl. I also participated in the second sock week cowl, and I was trying to participate in summer sock camp, and I didn't end up entering any of my socks that I had worked on during summer for that, but I really enjoyed seeing everybody else's projects. And the other thing that I was doing during the summertime was Stash Dash, and actually I did complete my goal of 7,000 meters. So that Comfort Fade Cardi really helped me out because the yardage on that really boosted my totals. So I don't actually know how much yards or meters, because Dash Dash is in meters. I don't actually know how many meters I ended up completing during Stash Dash, but once I hit over that 7,000 meter mark, which was basically the Comfort Fade Cardi and 1 or 2 pairs of socks, I kind of stopped counting, which I shouldn't have, because I should have seen if I could have made it to 10,000. I don't know if I'm going to go for that 10,000 meters next year. It's kind of a scary total, to be honest, but maybe if I'm working on a lot of garments at the time, I might go for that. We shall see. I do still think I want to try to get my 12 pairs of Christmas socks done by the end of 2021, but in order to do that, I'm really going to have to get my butt in gear. And I do want to work on some Halloween socks. There's just so many holidays that I want to do stuff for. But in September, I've also got a lot of readathons going on. I'm participating in 4 readathons. The end of the Full Metal Challenge, which is a Full Metal Alchemist inspired readathon, which, like I had shown you earlier, that yarn that I got from Hawaii Bazaar was based on that anime. And manga, because it is also a manga. I'm also participating in Mid-Year Mystery Madness, which starts on September 12th, which should be the day this video goes up, provided I don't have any technical difficulties. And that is like a mini event for the month-long reading event that I host in March, which is called March Mystery Madness, where we just promote the reading of mysteries the entire month of March. So if that sounds like something that might be interesting to you, definitely keep an eye out in February for announcements for that. And then I'm also participating in the Magical Readathon, which is a fantasy-based readathon that will be biannually. So there are 2 parts to that. So this is the start of like a new journey for that readathon. And so I'm trying to get those in, and if I have time, I will be participating in Bookopoly-thon, which is a TBR game that is based on Monopoly. And you can find links to all of that in the description box of my August vlogs, which I linked down in the description box below. So September is very, very busy for me as far as reading goes, and my booktube channel. My booktube channel turned 6 on the 3rd of September, so that's kind of a big thing for me as well, and it's also my birthday month. So my birthday is in a week, if you're seeing this the day that I'm supposed to post this. So yeah, lots of big things happening in September. I believe my daughter is going back to college at the end of the month. We're still waiting to see whether or not she will be on campus, and if she will be on campus, how many days she'll be on campus. So that's kind of up in the air. And that's pretty much everything that's been going on here lately. I'm still working from home. My mom is out and about with her job. We did start up our in real life manga club, so that has been interesting, and I've enjoyed talking to people in real life about manga again. And then I do also get to go to Barnes & Noble and browse in person, which is very nice because I haven't been able to do that in a while. But we are all safe, we are all healthy, and that's all that I can ask for. So let me know down in the comments below what your favorite thing that you worked on in the month of August was, or what your favorite purchase in August was. I would really love to know. Or if you would just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a birthday cake emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye!